All right, Larry Kruger here at Levi's from the Pig and a Pickle Krug show with a little recap video. Niners putting the finishing touches on a 27-13 win here at Levi's. First quarter, New England got the ball first. They had a long drive. They were forced to punt. Niners would get it on their first possession at their own 7
on the attempt,
and they would take it down the field, and it was a 15-play drive, but Moody would have to kick a 22-yard field goal to make it 3-0 Niners. Then Sam Aquinu got a forced fumble on the very first play of the Pats' second possession, and Malik Collins picked it up. So the Niners were once again on a short field, but they once again had to settle for a Jake Moody field goal. So Moody kicks it from 26 yards out, 6-0 Niners. The 49ers really, at that point, struggling in the red zone. Fred Warner, though, on the next possession on a 3rd and 5 would get a pick six, a 45-yard return, took it to the house and made it 13-0 49ers. Givens had a big sack on New England's next possession, and New England was forced to punt. And then they weren't forced to punt. On 4th and 1, Stevenson
49ers
got stuffed by Warner and Jair Brown.
3 minutes and 20 seconds.
So that the Niners would get the ball back on their third possession. They would drive all the way down, and Purdy would throw an absolute dime on a fade to George Kittle, a 12-yard pass, 10-play drive. There were 4 penalties on that drive, but Purdy still with the dime to Kittle to make it 20-0. Givens and Collins had a huge sack of Brissett on the next 3rd down, and they would fumble. The 49ers would get the ball, and they couldn't do anything with it in their 4th possession. New England ultimately would get a Joey Sly 63-yard field goal to make it 20-3 at half. So Niners in the first half lead 20-3. They were +2 in turnovers. They did a real nice job on Stevenson, only holding him to 3 yards a pop. Now, the only way New England was getting back in this game in the second half was if the Niners gave it to him. And sure enough, Isaac Guerrero tried. On the kickoff of the second half, he fumbled. Turnover number 1 by the Niners, and Brissett would, on a play-action pass on 4th and 1, would find Austin Hooper for a touchdown. And just like that, it was 20-10. But Purdy would go up top on the next play, a 53-yard bomb to Debo against Jones. And that brought the ball down to the 17-yard line. J.P. Mason would run it in from 4 yards out to make it 27-10. Patriots couldn't score on their 8th possession. Niners couldn't score on their next possession. Ultimately, it stayed that score until the Patriots would get another 54-yard field goal from Joey Sly to make it 27-13. 8-play drive. The Niners, Purdy would throw an interception to Jabril Peppers on the 49ers' 8th possession, and the Niners have just scored on their 9th possession another field goal,
1 yard on the play.
Another field goal to make it 30-13 as we sit here right now. So it's 30-13. New England's trying to get a little bit more in garbage time, and it looks like Brissett has hit Gibson
Brought down by Brown
down the sideline. So New England may get a little closer, but the 49ers are going to win this game. There's only a couple minutes left in the 4 minutes left, and the Niners up 30-13. New England's trying furiously to get a touchdown to make it 30-20, but right now it's 30-13 49ers. So overall, if you looked at that first half, I think the thing that really stood out was the defensive plays. Aquinu with the forced fumble, Givens with the fumble, Malik Collins with the fumble recovery, Malik Collins with 1.5 sacks, Givens with 2.5 sacks, and then Fred Warner with the pick six. That's really what stood out. 2 field goals for Jake Moody in the first half. Niners had an 80-yard drive on the pass of Purdy on the fade to Kittle. That made it 20-0. That was probably the big play in the first half. So Niners, they right the ship. They right the ship here in Week 4. They get a nice win over the Patriots, and now it's on to the Arizona Cardinals, who looks like they're going to lose today to the Washington Commanders. So good win for the 49ers. We talked about how this was going to be a defining win for the Niners, or a defining day for the Niners. If they won this game big, they're back on track. If they won this game and it was a nail-biter, then it's a win, but probably not a playoff year. if they get the win, but it was, if it was, if they lost, I should say, a close game, then people, of course, would be losing their mind. And then ultimately, if they had gotten blown out today by the Patriots, I mean, there would have been people calling for firings and regime change and everything else known to man. So I would say 30-13 is a convincing victory. I mean, you may see the Patriots get a late touchdown here to make it 30-20, but this was a convincing win. This was the kind of win the 49ers needed. They shut down Ramondre Stevenson. They made the Patriots pretty much one-sided. This is one of the easiest games they had on their schedule. This was an automatic win a month ago, and yet today it was a little bit more hard-fought than it maybe looked on paper. But yeah, the Commanders are putting away the Cardinals in Arizona, and that's the Niners' next opponent. So on to the Arizona Cardinals after this one, but a convincing win for the 49ers, a very impressive win for performance, I thought, for Brock Purdy, even though he completed a low percentage. He really took shots down the field and
Bosa
was throwing strikes.
Quarterback sack.
The Niners' defensive line, as you would expect, dominated this Patriots challenged offensive
Correction
line.
on the tackle.
And the
was Bosa.
49ers are going to pull out of here with a convincing victory, a 2-2 mark to escape September with. Is it ideal? No. Did they want to go 4-0? Sure. Would they have been much happier with 3-1?
Gain of 1 yard on the play.
But 2-2 on to Arizona and kind of righting the ship. So I think if you're a 49er fan, you got to feel good about where they're at. You got to feel good about what you saw today from Debo, from Ayuk, from Kittle, J.P. Mason.
Recovered by the defense.
And it looks like the 49ers have now just had another sack fumble where Nick Bosa
Forced the fumble and recovered.
Bosa
the
had the forced fumble and the fumble recovery here in the closing minutes. So he beat the tackle bad and looked like the ball was thrown, but it was actually knocked out of his hand by Bosa, who then fell on the ball. So he gets the I guess does he get the strip sack? He must have to get the strip sack. And fumble recovery. So the hat trick there for Nick Bosa. Good performance today by the Niner D-line. Good performance. I thought Devondre Campbell made a number of tackles today. I thought overall a really good performance by J.P. Mason. I thought he ran the ball effectively today. Purdy looked really, really sharp. The one downer was the Guerrero fumble on the kickoff return to start the second half. He remains very much just an athlete. Does he have a position? Does he have a role in this team? Not really. He's more of just an athlete. But we'll see where it goes from here. And it's a good win for the 49ers for sure. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles in Monterey for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube. And join us. I'll be on with John and Dennis and Adam on KMBR for a little 49er postgame segment, and then join me after that on the Krug Show with Kev and Dan and Rye and Frank Red's going to be by this week. My nephew, who's a big Patriots fan, Joey, he'll be in the house. Should be a lot of fun. Los is going to be in the house. Kev's on the road, so he'll only be there for a little bit of time, but should be a lot of fun. Join us on the Krug Show right around 5 o'clock. And we'll start breaking the whole thing down right up here in the press box after we go into the locker room, talk to Shanahan, talk to the players and all that. But Niners with a convincing win. They're up 30-13 right now and putting the touches on a nice win. And we'll talk about it with you on the Krug Show in a bit. Have a great day, everybody. Go Niners.